Whoa! Hey guys, Marcel here with Irnieracing. We are in the desert and we got hummingbirds flying real close, scaring me.
You see them?
Holy smokes. Big choppers, guys, in the desert. Anyways, guys, into the news. The federal court rules invocation of the Emergencies Act was illegal. Now, I did a story on this yesterday when it broke, but I wanted to follow up here with the Democracy Fund's their own story, so it'll break it down a little differently. So the federal court's decision helps rehabilitate the rule of law in Canada. So, Toronto, a federal court judge has declared that the Liberal government's invocation of the Emergency Act against the Freedom Convoy protesters was both unreasonable and unconstitutional. In his decision of almost 200 pages, Justice Mosley of the Federal Court of Canada concludes that there was no national emergency that seriously endangered the lives, health, and safety of Canadians, and that there were no reasonable grounds to believe that there was a threat to national security as defined by the Emergencies Act and the CSIS Act, which is the CSIS Act. CSIS is Canada's Intelligence Services. This was the legal position that the Democracy Fund lawyers argued before the Commissioner Rouleau at the Public Order Emergency Inquiry in 2022. Again, Justice Rouleau was a liberal lackey judge, practically in retirement, who came back out of retirement, I guess, to do this job for Justin Trudeau, wrecking his reputation forever. Significantly, Justice Mosley found that the Emergency Measures Regulations and the Emergency Economic Measures Order made by the federal government under the emergency legislation infringed the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The emergency regulation prohibiting anyone from participating in a public assembly that might reasonably be expected to lead to a breach of the peace was found to infringe on political expression. That limitation was not found to be a reasonable limit on free expression, as it treated all protesters alike and was needlessly applied across the entire country. With respect to the economic order that empowered financial institutions to freeze the bank accounts of peoples engaging in prohibited activity under the emergency regulations, the court found that it infringed the right to be free from unreasonable search and seizure. This limitation was not upheld because, among other things, there was no objective legal standard that the authorities could use when applying it, and no ability to challenge it. As the RCMP superintendent who oversaw the implementation of the order testified, its application did not rest on a standard or reasonable grounds or reasonable suspicion, but merely a standard of bare belief. Now, according to the Democracy Fund here, litigation director Alan Honner, the federal court decision carries more weight than the Commissioner Rouleau's findings at the public inquiry because it addresses the legality of the proclamation on the constitutional and administrative law grounds. While Commissioner Rouleau did make findings about the justification for invoking the public order emergency, he did not have the legal authority to adjudicate on the lawfulness of the declaration. Where the Commission often involved hearsay and non-expert opinion evidence, the federal court adhered to strict rules of evidence and legal procedure. Thus, the judgment of the court has more legal weight. The decision reaffirms our view that the Emergencies Act, as a tool of last resort that cannot be invoked for convenience of expedience, end quote, says Honor. Quote, while it was disheartening to see the federal government's illegal use emergency powers against the peaceful protesters, this decision helps to rehabilitate our country as one that respects and is governed by the rule of law. There you have it, guys. So, after reading the Democracy Fund's breakdown, what are your guys' opinions of the Emergency Act and Justice Rouleau's decision on the commission, the Liberal Commission? And yeah, write it in the comments, guys. What do you think about the decision now by a real federal court? And we all know Chrystia Freeland went on camera yesterday to say, well, I thought it was necessary, and we will be, the federal government, the liberal federal government dictatorship will be appealing the decision to the Supreme Court. I am Marcel Irnie. This is Irnieracing, N-E-W-S, on SensorTube. As you can see, I'm going to go dirt biking next with the Acme Moto. And here is the Northern Lite. It's the White Whale 10.2 on the Duramax dually. And we are in the desert. We are... Oh, how incredible, how incredible. And just take a look to the left. Oh, look at that. We got the rainbow going through the sky. Up and over and down. Oh, so cool. Oh, wow, it just feels like a new planet. It's just so incredible, the feeling and just the freedom of just turn anywhere except for the sand effect. Man, it really makes me think that I could use a nice paddle tire and set up, you know, I'm just running the knobbies, 9.2 psi, around 5 psi. I had 6 and then I lowered it down. It could be 5 or 4 psi now. And you can see it buckling at the bottom. But I feel like, if you had that Earth Roamer, if you had that expedition vehicle on the 41s, or you have the full-on Unimog style with the 46s, this would be so fun to just go and, okay, let's just camp right here. This is our camp spot. And I'm almost at the tip of the biggest mountains behind me. And look, there's still a freaking, what is that? Rainbow, right? We almost forget what they are now. Oh, like seriously, this is so freaking incredible. I just can't get over it. And I'm not even much stoned anymore. I haven't smoked it in a couple hours. Like seriously, oh, freaking. Now I'm kind of afraid of my long way back in the dark.
Okay.
Hey there. Well, I made it back. I made it back alive. Tina had a fire going. That's pretty cool. Acme Moto survived the dunes. Fell over a couple times, twisted my right ankle just a little bit, but it'll be okay. And yeah, on the way back in the dark, I had the helmet lights going, the front light. There you go, guys. So you can see my lights here. And then the moon. And oh yeah, what's it look like behind me? Pretty good? Pretty good.